see it all, what would their vision be? You know, if they didn't have any of the biases that we have, how would they look at our different countries and how everybody's behaving? And, you know, the main thing that I always think is they would not share our usual assumption that we're just the good guys and the other guys are the bad guys. I don't think an objective alien would quite see that. And the thing to the caller is that, you know, I don't tend to view things so much in those terms, but there is a way I look at things that has a certain similarity to it, which is we can't believe that we control everything. You know, for you it may be, you put that in the hands of God, and I understand that. For me, it may not be God. There's the fact that it's not all up to people either. We can't make other people do what we want. We can't even always get our own people to do what we want. If you can let go of the idea that you are in control of everything, it gets a little easier to live in the world.
What's interesting, though, the modern era of UFO sightings occurred in 1947, 2 years after the atomic bombs in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. I'm wondering, and I've always wondered this since I was a kid, if extraterrestrials had the ability to pick up on those detonations, and they came there going, what the heck are those people doing? What do you think of that, Joe?
Well, you know, I'm not putting evidence of it, but I like the idea. I think part of it is sort of wishes it were true. I'll say that.
Let's go to Craig in Vancouver, British Columbia. Hi, Craig. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, Joe, George, and hi, Joseph.
Hi.
Joseph, you're right on about the Orthodox Church. I have a friend I talk to about daily in Ukraine, and she showed me videos, people lining up with their blocks to get into the church, a certain time of the year. She works in the church, and she walks for 2 miles a day and takes buses and subways, and she loves to. And, she calls him her leader. And then on the other hand, I talked to a woman in Moscow almost daily, and she's part of the Navalny, a small group of Navalny supporters. And she's out with her placards. It's just a small group. It's not a huge group. And at any time, she wears these Navalny T-shirts, but at any time of the day or night, the police could come up and tell her to take the shirt off on the spot. And they take mugshots of people. I wonder if Joseph has any information about Navalny and maybe tell us something that we don't know.
Any insight there, Joseph?
Right about him in his book.
Well, I do write about him a little bit then. He's a fascinating guy, and I think a very brave guy. And even though I do not support our government interfering with what's going on inside Russia, there are nevertheless people like Navalny who I have a very natural sympathy with. I think most Americans growing up in American values are going to have a natural sympathy with Navalny. It's so easy for us to understand him, and he's so courageous. I don't have a lot of information and insight, but I will say that, if you happen not to have followed it closely in the news, the story of how he and his organization essentially tracked down the way that the FSB, the Internal Federal Police in Russia, poisoned him, and then, while they were denying it, nevertheless clearly were behind it. The way that was done through these internet investigations, then ultimately pretending to be a government official himself, Navalny called one of the higher-ups in the FSB and tricked him into admitting that he had been one of the people behind the poisoning. It's just an incredible kind of bizarre piece of, sleuthery. And before that, even though there was a lot of reason to believe that Putin and the authorities were behind this, there really wasn't any kind of conclusive evidence. And that's one of the problems of the shadowy world of covert affairs. It's hard to really know things. So for Navalny to have gathered that actual evidence was, I think, kind of a bit of a paradigm shift and very important.
Joseph, remember that incredible story of the multi-billionaire Mikhail, Khodorkovsky, who did not get on Putin's good side, and now he's living in London. He's lucky he's still alive, isn't he?
Spent a long time in jail. it was interesting because he also was trying to move things in a direction of a sort of freer, more democratic Western system, and he had so much money that he actually had real influence and was able to actually play enough of a role in pushing things in that direction that he pushed too far and threw him in jail. I think he was there for maybe a decade. I mean, an awfully long time.
He stepped on the wrong toes. Tom in Pennsylvania, first-time caller. I got about a minute for you, Tommy. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Hi, George. Hi, Joseph.
Hi.
I wanted Joseph to comment, like, on the Savage Undeclared War of 1918, 1919 between the American doughboys and the Red Army. And there's a cemetery in Detroit that has hundreds of American graves from the Free Fruity Night Infantry Regiment. And wasn't that basically the start of bad relations between Russia and the United States?
Do you know about that conflict, Joe? Go ahead.
Yes, it's a great thing to bring up. You know, I'm so interested myself in trying to understand how this conflict erupted between us, and there's really no way to say really when it started because we were been attacking each other for a long time and probably even earlier than the incident you just mentioned. Nevertheless, the Soviets, or they weren't quite Soviets yet, but the Russians were trying to have this revolution. They're trying to overthrow their order. And we sent troops to fight against them. Now, our troops were not very active. They mostly landed in one or two places in the country and kind of sat there. They didn't get seriously involved in the fighting, and they did not play any kind of a major or important role in the very, very brutal civil war that you're talking about. But they were there, and they showed up, and everybody knew what side they were on. So I think it is important that, you know, if you look back at the Cold War, to understand that we were not just innocent bystanders who then the Soviets started attacking. We played our part.
We sure did. Joseph, I want to thank you for being on the program. Love to use you as a Russian resource in case any breaking stories occur up there, okay?
Of course. Great pleasure talking to you. Really enjoyed this.
Joseph Weisberg, his book is called Russia Upside Down. His websites are linked up at coasttocoastam.com. Up next, astrologer Marie Shaw joins us. We're going to talk about your soul.
Never miss a detail on a show or a guest. Sign up for the Coast Zone email newsletter, available for free at coasttocoastam.com.
Do you have coins, jewelry, or precious metals and are looking to sell for top dollar? Phil DiGenova, CEO and owner of Tangible Investments, has become legendary by beating his so-called competitors' offers on these items by as much as 500%.
I had a diamond ring that's been an heirloom in my family for many years, so I went to a local jewelry store and they offered me $600. I just wasn't comfortable. I took it down to Tangible Investments and they offered me over $6,000. That store is absolutely awesome.
Stories like these are why Tangible Investments has become America's top dealer in precious metals, jewelry, and collectibles, and why Phil has been featured on CNBC and quoted on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. Over the past 30 years, Tangible Investments has bought billions in collectibles. That's billions with a B. Right now, demand is through the roof. Phil encourages all his clients to shop the competition and then call him last. You'll be amazed at the difference. Guaranteed. Call now for an absolutely free, professional, no-obligation appraisal. 800-711-2800. 800-711-2800. 800-711-2800.
IQ Air wants to give you the cleanest air possible, and the affordable Autumn series does just that.
The Autumn Desk is a revolutionary air purifier that transforms your workspace into personal clean air zones.
Unlike other air filtration systems that may take hours to purify the air, the Autumn Desk begins working immediately.
Put it right next to you while you work and create your own personal bubble of ultra-pure air.
This game-changing technology has been proven to remove 99% of all airborne pollutants.
Visit IQAir.com/US to learn more. Give them a call, 800-500-4AIR, 800-500-4247.
We've all heard that you've got the right to remain silent, but have you ever really thought about what that means? It's the police literally telling you to shut up. I'm attorney Darren Kavinoki from 1-800-NO-CUFFS. If you're in custody and everything you say can and definitely will be used against you, remain silent and just shut up. Just make your one phone call to 1-800-NO-CUFFS, the leader in criminal defense. 1-800-NO-CUFFS, because no one looks good in handcuffs, unless you're into that sort of thing. 1-800-NO-CUFFS.
Mood-enhancing, pharmacy-grade, stimulating talk. KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk.
KFI.
And KOSC HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County. Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Gambling for the homeless. I'm Phil Hewitt from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Signature gathering is expected to begin next month on a ballot measure that would legalize online sports betting and provide millions of dollars for homelessness and mental health. Spokesman Nathan Click says as of October, $72 billion has been wagered in the 21 states that have legalized online gambling.
The initiative would fund hundreds of millions of dollars in homelessness and mental health services every year, and it does it without raising taxes.
Councilman Mark Ridley Thomas is now suspended from office after the city council voted to give him the boost. After the vote, the city controller stripped him of his pay and benefits. About an hour later, Ridley Thomas entered a not guilty plea to federal bribery and conspiracy charges. CDC advisors are set to meet Thursday on whether to recommend the FDA's authorization of Moderna and Johnson & Johnson coronavirus booster vaccine. The FDA made that move on Wednesday, noting that any of the three vaccines could be used as a booster in a mix-and-match approach. Former President Trump is preparing to start posting again. Trump announced he will be launching his own social media network called Truth Social, which he explained is meant to, quote, stand up to the tyranny of big tech. He's been absent from major social media sites since the January 6th riots at the Capitol. The Dodgers got blown out by Atlanta last night. 9-2 was the final score at Dodger Stadium.
Every time I write the lineup out, I feel very good about our club and how we match up and, track records and what we're going to do that particular night, but it just hasn't been as consistent as I don't think anyone expected.
That's L.A. manager Dave Roberts. The Braves can eliminate the Dodgers tonight at Dodger Stadium in Game 5. Southland weather from KFI. Partly sunny skies with highs in the low to mid-70s for the LA OC metros, low 80s in the valleys in the IE. Right now 52 in Garden Grove, Costa Mesa 57, Pasadena is 54, and in Simi Valley it is currently 49 degrees. We lead local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Phil Hewitt.
In Burbank, we have a full freeway closure. This is on the 5 southbound from Burbank Boulevard to Olive Avenue. All lanes are going to be shut down for road work. South LA, this is on the 110 northbound right after Manchester. We have a crash taking up the left and right lane. Your drive is stacking up for just before Century. Westminster, we have a full freeway closure. 405 southbound from Golden West to Bolsa. All lanes going to be shut down for road work until 5. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Brian Baird.
Ready to trade in your old car? Then download the Roto app. That's R-O-D-O. Roto will buy your car and give you the cash you need to buy your next car today. You don't even need to leave your house. It's all done online. Roto will even deliver your new car and take your old car away free of charge. So what are you waiting for? Download the Roto app now or check out roto.com. That's R-O-D-O, the fastest and easiest way to sell your car.
The Delta variant is making COVID-19 spread faster and more easily. Variants can be more contagious, aggressive, and deadly. But we know vaccines work. Vaccinated Californians have greater protection against serious illness, hospitalization, and death. We can help stop the spread and end this pandemic. Get vaccinated and wear a mask when it can protect you and others. Find a vaccine near you at myturn.ca.gov. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
Amazon Delivery Service Partners are hiring full-time delivery drivers to meet growing customer demand. Earn at least $19.50 per hour at select stations, plus benefits and a sign-on bonus of $2,000 for participating GSPs. If you apply now, apply today at www.amazon.com/driver. That's www.amazon.com/driver. No delivery experience required. Terms apply. Hourly rate includes a limited time incentive for working full-time between October 17th to December 25th, 2021.
Hey, it's Gene Sharp. I got a question for you. Are you ready for football? Well, it is here. And everyone knows that hosting friends, family, and fans is always the best way to enjoy game day. So get your home ready by refreshing the kitchen, that bathroom that everyone will be using, staining the deck, or painting the fan cave with Benjamin Moore paint. With football and painting season in full swing, now is the perfect time for a fresh coat. So whether you're changing things up by calling a new color audible or just following the playbook, you're going to find all the right products, the perfect colors, and plenty of advice at your local Southern California Benjamin Moore retailer. Let Benjamin Moore beautify your home for this season and all the seasons to come. Support your team and your local independently owned and operated Benjamin Moore retailer. Find the one nearest you at BenjaminMoore.com. That's BenjaminMoore.com. Benjamin Moore. See the love.
Help DEA keep our community safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, October 23rd. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent drug misuse before it starts.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions, and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
Are you still driving around with that check engine light on? AMCO will read and report the trouble codes on your vehicle for free. Call them today.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
KFI, AM 640. KFI, AM 640.
Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
How would you like to determine your soul's path when it's reincarnated? And what does that all mean? In a moment, astrologer Maria Shaw joins us, and we'll jump right into her work. One of her books is called Book of Love, Horoscopes, Palmistry, Numbers, Candles, Gemstones, and Colors, and also Soulmates. We'll be back in a moment on Coast to Coast AM. Hey, this fall, Bespoke Post, that's the name of the company, is here with a new seasonal lineup of must-have Box of Awesome collections. Bespoke partners with small businesses and emerging brands to bring you the most unique goods every month, no matter what you're into. Box of Awesome, that's the website, I'll tell you about that, has you covered from all kinds of things. Box of Awesome has collections for every part of your life. To get started, take the quiz at boxofawesome.com. Your answers will help them pick the right kind of Box of Awesome for you, because they've got a whole bunch of them. They release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. Free to sign up. You can skip a month if you want or cancel anytime. Now, each box will cost you $45, that's it, but has over $70 worth of gear inside, and you get a 20% discount off the first box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter my name, George, at checkout in the code. So that's boxofawesome.com, code George for 20% off your first box. Check it out.
Real people, real stories.
I have bruising that's all over my arms. 3 weeks after I was on the carnivore, I noticed, I'm looking at my arms, and I said, gee, I don't have any bruises on my arms, and I'm always full of bruises. I can't put my finger on it, but I know something's happening. I have to tell you, that has to be the carnivore.
I've got a Labrador. She can hardly lift herself up off the floor. I won't tell you what the veterinarian said, but the treatment was chemotherapy. And I said, no way. That's when I said, you know what, this could be the ticket. So I started administering her, and she took to it right away. In 3 weeks, you could tell. She's very alert. 6 weeks into the protocol, she seemed like she was 100%. She was going on a 5-mile walk. I'm like, my goodness, she is just like prime again.
Call 866-836-8735. That's 866-836-8735. Or visit carnivore.com. That's carnivora.com.
And welcome back to Coast. George Norrie with you. Great to have you with us. Maria Shaw back with us as well. She's one of the country's most popular astrologers. And to millions of fans and followers, she's known for her amazing accuracy and predictions for all kinds of folks in Hollywood, all over the place. She has spent the past 20 years counseling people from all walks of life on matters of the heart. She uses astrology, numerology, and her own intuition when guiding people to make positive life changes and choices. Noted author as well. Maria, welcome back. How many books do you have out now?
I think I have 9 books published in 11 languages. And thanks again for having me back on.
No, it's great. It's great timing to have you back, too. What a fast year, isn't it?
Oh, my goodness. I predicted last time when I was on your show early in the year that this year was going to fly by. And here we are. It's almost into 2022.
I can't wait. Actually, I want to get this year over with. It's been a good year for some. It's been a horrible year for a lot of people, but let's just move on. How did you, Maria, get started in astrology? How did that happen for you?
Well, I actually used to do what you do. I was a radio announcer. I was a disc jockey. I had my own show, and then I was a television newscaster in Michigan. And I'm adopted, and I moved markets because I had to move with my family, and I couldn't break into one of the markets. So at the same time, I met my biological mother, and she was a real estate executive and an astrologer by night. And she said that I would be very good in this field. And, you know, astrology is like a foreign language. When somebody's talking the moon conjunct Saturn and this and that, it's a foreign language. I had no clue as to what even she was talking about. But she trained me on how to read the tarot. I was doing it just for fun. And I think when you're on the right path, there's a domino effect. And from those little lessons from my mother, I needed a job, so I just started temporarily putting up signs in the local grocery stores that said psychic house parties. And from there, it took off. So that's basically how I got started.
Good for you. Michigan's my home state. Whereabouts in Michigan were you in the media?
WMEM TV5 in
Saginaw, Michigan. Saginaw, Michigan. That's right.
Yeah.
Great market, too. Were you there when Rich Fisher was there? That would have been some time ago.
I was. And then I worked at WYCB in Detroit, CBS, the country station. I had my own talk show there, and then I had a show with on what they call psychic radio that they had as an offshoot of CBS. But yeah, Rich Fisher was in my market. Actually, he was the anchorman when I was in high school. And then I became I did the anchor desk at WEYI TV 25 in Flint when I was only 19 years old. So this was a long time ago, but I'll tell you what, I enjoyed the media back then. It was a whole different ball game, and every day was an adventure. You know, for a 19-year-old kid to be doing the news and getting up and reporting all over, and, you know, Flint was quite the city, still is, you know. It was a lot of action for a 19-year-old.
Rich was a great newsman. Ended up going to WXYZ in Detroit. I was in that market. And then I think he's passed on now, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Bill Bonds, of course, was a legend in Detroit, too.
Yep.
He's the Heath Bond. I'm not sure. I know Diana Lewis retired from Channel 7. I haven't followed her since then. But, yeah, there's a lot of great newscasters and broadcasters came out of Detroit.
I worked with Joe Glover, Ray Lane, Robbie Timmons, Terry Murphy, Jerry Hodak, all those folks at the time.
Oh, yes, all the big legends, yes.
Good people. I got my foundation there. My first radio job, Maria, was at the then WCAR, which was 1130 on the AM dial. There's a different WCAR out there now, but that was my first radio station job back in 1971.
Wow.
69 I was up. Oh, it is. Detroit's a great town. My mother's still out there. She's 92 years old.
Oh, gosh, well, that's sort of, wow. Yeah, that's why I was born in Detroit. I was raised outside of Flint on a little farm, but was born in Detroit, so proud to stay on small town.
Absolutely. Well, you're much younger than I am, but it's a great city, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it. Mm-hmm.
All right, we just had a hunter's full moon, a gorgeous full moon for people who had an opportunity to see it. What does that mean to us astrologically speaking?
Oh, yes. We had this full moon in the sign of Aries, and the full moon in the sign of Aries, the energy will last for at least a couple days, more intensely, and for the next 2 weeks until we have the new moon. But there's an extreme amount of energy that's been happening because of this full moon and because of Mars in Libra. A lot of people can't get sleep. People get up in the middle of the night and they can't get back to sleep. And I know a lot of people are feeling this, but this particular full moon, George, is very transformational. A lot of people are at a breaking point of some sort, and I think this is a time, especially late October, we're pushed to kind of speed up, slow up, and make some changes. So the universe in this full moon is pushing us to act on something that's needed our attention for a while. So a lot of people are maybe quitting jobs or putting their house up for sale or maybe deciding what they want to do with a relationship. But this is a time that we're supposed to let go of any fear. You know, because Aries is ruled by Mars. It's competitive. It's high energy. It's fearless. So we're going to have a lot of motivation to move forward. And the only thing that will really hold us back during this time is fear of change. So I'm telling everybody, don't be afraid of change right now.
Fast and powerful, the new 2011 Impreza WRX now features the wide-body design known for its rallying performance.